what is your approach? How do you help women uncover their story?
Yeah. I think my favorite thing to do is ask questions and hear them tell stories, even if they're like side quest stories. Like, here's something that happened when I was a child, here's something. Because if you start asking people to really just tell fun stories or impactful stories, or where did you feel really proud, or where did you feel really excited or protected, or like you were really in your like gifting kind of a thing. Like, if you ask women those questions, they will tend to kind of tell stories that seem like they're disjointed or disconnected. But if you kind of pull back, you can see like threads and themes within that. And it's really cool to kind of see like how that shapes into like, that's actually your story. It's more the themes of what's happened in your life, how you've overcome those things, or how they've become part of your character and part of how you interact with people. That is your story.
Story Project audience, I am beyond excited that Ariel is with me today, and I want to just introduce you to her before we launch into this episode. Ariel is a creative strategist at Studio EightyEight, photographer, writer, Enneagram 6, and a little bit of a homebody. She's a girl mom living in Columbus, Ohio, a brunette, really, really pretty one, and an introvert. She grew up wanting to be a teacher, but switched her major to English. Around that time, she picked up a camera to play around with and went on her merry way. After a windy road and a few jobs in both the creative and education spaces, she now gets to teach, write, photograph, and use the visual and strategic creativity she loves. Today, Ariel walks through a process with clients to bring their own brand to life. Welcome to the Story Project.
Hello.
It's so fun to have you here.
We're here.
I know. I feel like this is long overdue. So this is going to be a really fun conversation. So we first met when you joined the team, which you'll have to remind me what year that was.
2019,
Okay.
I joined the team. Yes.
Okay. So now you actually lead the creative strategist team, which is incredible. And you also, though, have a background in photography and teaching, and we'll get more into your story. I'm super, super pumped to have you on this episode and really just dive into some of the strategies behind growing a thriving business or brand as a woman.
Yeah.
So I know you have a lot of expertise in that area. And so
As do you. So
well, you have more.
We'll bounce around. That'll be so fun.
Okay, awesome. All right, before we get into this episode and conversation, okay, I have a few table talk icebreakers.
Okay.
I never let my guests see these questions beforehand.
I tried.
If you won an expensive trip somewhere, what destination would you choose?
Ooh, I really want to go to Scotland.
Ooh.
Yes. I did just, my sister is living in Germany right now, so I did just go visit her, which was really nice. But I kind of want to see the waterfalls and stuff of Scotland. So.
Did you visit Scotland when you went to see her
No,
briefly?
no.
Oh, okay.
That's somewhere I would like
do. Yeah, that's awesome.
have the full trip kind of situation.
Love that. Okay, what's your drink order at a coffee house?
Lately I've been doing like an iced white mocha. And I put a lot of stuff in it. It's probably not great for you, but that's half decaf though is my new thing.
Okay.
That's helpful.
Half calf. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you had more time to spend on a hobby, what would you choose?
Great question. I used to play the violin, so I think that would be something I would like to get back into. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. The violin is hard. Both my kids played it in primary.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that's why I'm super out of practice. I'd have to practice. But
awesome. Okay. What's the most entertaining reality TV show?
I do have a little bit of a knack for a little soft spot for reality TV. I'm into Love is Blind lately.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately.
Okay.
But I'm in it now.
All right. No, I actually want to watch that one. Aaliyah and I watch The Bachelor.
Okay.
Or Bachelorette, depending on who is the... Because, I mean, if it gets too raunchy...
Yeah.
No.
This past one was pretty...
It was better.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it was better. Not as nasty and trashy.
Yep, we don't need
that. The Bachelor. But it does open up like good conversation for her and I, you know, that I wouldn't otherwise be able to like, you know, get in depth with. So, okay. I'd love to just dive into a little bit of your just kind of professional journey. Started off as a teacher, and I'd love to hear a little bit about how that dream evolved from teaching to photography to joining us at Studio EightyEight and working with our brand clients.
Yeah. So my mom was she still is an amazing teacher. And that's kind of what I grew up seeing. And I really wanted to do that. And I love teaching and I love kids. And so I thought it was a natural fit. I used to try to like scheme ways to go to work with her like bring your kid to work day. And like, I just loved being in the classroom. So, that's kind of like the route that I went down. But as I kind of got into college, I just started like bouncing around to different things. I was doing a lot of like writing classes, English classes, which I loved. And I was doing kind of photography on the side, more playing with it than anything with my friends and stuff. And that was fun. And I was doing college ministry, just kind of like had a lot of interest. And I just wasn't sure about teaching, but I still kind of ended up with teaching as like a thing. So I taught first grade, I subbed, I kind of like bounced around, did a lot of grades and stuff. And I just like was not loving it, I think. And so, yeah, kind of that was in New York, and then kind of moved to Ohio, and I started out with teaching because that was like an easy in for me, I think. And then, yeah, ended up just in different jobs doing like creative stuff. I had like my photography business on the side. And then what kind of brought me to Studio EightyEight was a previous job. I was doing like social media. I was doing some administrative stuff, and then got connected here. And I started out as a social media strategist here, and then decided like through kind of learning about all the different roles at Studio EightyEight, I loved how the creative strategist would like walk the clients through the visuals and uncovering their story and like leading that process. And so now I kind of get to like educate clients about all the visuals and building their brand and things like that. So it kind of mixes everything together, which I love. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So you have on a personal side, you have two young girls that are beautiful.
Yeah, they're spicy, but yes, Lana and Harper, they're 9 and 5.
9
yeah.
and 5. Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. What's your favorite part about being a mom of two girls?
Yes. I think from what I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong, because you have a boy, I feel like the boys don't get as excited about fun little things like Valentine's Day. And like, no, it's not like the outfits and the cute. Yeah. So I think that that's fun. I get to like set up experiences for them that are like, they're small, like little things here and there, but that's like fun for me, and they get really excited about it. So I think that's like a fun part about girls, having girls.
It is completely. Yeah. And even just like getting dressed and fashion, going shopping. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Keaton, he's like, he dresses fine, but taking him shopping, he's like, Mom, just pick it out.
Yeah, you tell me. Yeah. They started getting interested to pick their own stuff, and that's fun to like, take an interest. Yay. Okay. Yeah. So it's good. It's cute.
Well, I'd love to segue and just kick off a conversation around kind of building your brand from scratch or from the beginning, which is where all of us have to start. So when someone is in that phase, what's the first thing they should focus on?
Yeah. It's kind of like a lens through which to think about it, is asking yourself some questions and just kind of getting it all out on paper. So I usually recommend like have a piece of paper that you're going to just jot some stuff down, and don't give yourself any like barriers. Like don't picture yourself posting about it. Don't picture yourself doing anything. Just like answer a few questions. And so like one good question is like, what are you passionate about? Yeah. And that can be anything. It doesn't have to be like, it can be like a skill set. It can be like a hobby. It can be anything you're passionate about. Another good one is like, what do you feel purposeful in? So what do you really feel like meets people where they're at, and like really kind of gives you a purpose in like your life, like in your day-to-day life?
Is that step like meeting a need?
Yeah. That's a good way. Yeah, a good way to put it. Okay. So yeah, you're meeting a need for someone. And then the third question that kind of like encompasses both, but what do people come to you for? So like sometimes we're like, oh, I don't have strengths. I don't know what my giftings are. I don't know. But if you kind of peel back and be like, oh, people actually pretty consistently come to me for like 1, 2, 3 things, that's kind of an indicator that that those are kind of part of what you're really good at sharing. So
So what's a common mistake that you see people make when they're first trying to figure out their brand?
Yeah. I don't know. I think the biggest mistake is like either feeling frozen and so not doing anything, which just kind of like puts things off even more. And just knowing from personal experience that can make you feel more overwhelmed. Like sometimes people just want to like get started, but they're too afraid and whatever. And then that kind of builds the pressure like internally. Yeah. So I would say just like not doing anything is something that I just kind of like try to encourage people to push past a little bit. Otherwise, I would say like either trying to niche down too much and be something that you think people want, or trying to like throw everything in the kitchen sink in when that's not actually what you want to be or do. Yeah. So yeah. It's like finding your sweet spot.
Right. I think that whole discovery phase is so incredibly important, because it's kind of the foundation of your entire brand. Yeah. So getting those building blocks really dialed in is going to be just like exponential to your brand growing and it actually becoming profitable and all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like starting out that intentionally, but then not taking too long in that phase. So definitely taking time in that phase, but not too much time.
So let's talk a little bit about uncovering your story, which is a really big aspect of really one of those building blocks. What is your approach? How do you help women uncover their story?
Yeah. I think my favorite thing to do is ask questions and hear them tell stories, even if they're like side quest stories. Like, here's something that happened when I was a child. Here's something, because if you start asking people to really just tell fun stories or impactful stories, or where did you feel really proud, or where did you feel really excited or protected, or like you were really in your like gifting kind of a thing. Like if you ask women those questions, they will tend to kind of tell stories that seem like they're disjointed or disconnected. But if you kind of pull back, you can see like threads and themes within that. And it's really cool to kind of see like how that shapes into like, that's actually your story. It's more the themes of what's happened in your life, how you've overcome those things, or how they've become part of your character and part of how you interact with people. That is your story. So I think part of it is just asking really good questions. I think I hear a lot that people are like, oh, I never thought about that. I didn't know that we had to answer those types of questions to do. So I think that it's really just having someone like ask you really good questions and letting you share and talk and just see what kind of lights you up.
So at Studio EightyEight, we have multiple discovery tools that we use to help all of our brand clients and dental practice owners and dentists discover their story and their why. Can you tell us a little bit about how those work in the process?
Yeah.
And they're pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love every brand client that we've had come through. They're all very sweet. They're so like encouraging. Like even if they're coming to us for a session, I'm like, I'm getting coaching, or I feel like really encouraged by whoever they are. So, so we have a few different tools. So one of them is just to kind of figure out a little bit more about what they do. So like kind of the nuts and bolts of their business or their coaching experience, or, you know, what the brand is that they want to build. So part of it is like discovering the more of the like practical parts of their brand. And then there's a deeper part that kind of goes into more of their story. How did you get here? Why are you here? What do you feel passionate about? So that we can pull some of those themes into their content. One of the big tools that we have is a workbook that just goes through a lot of exercises that, again, asks a lot of questions. It asks things that aren't obvious about your business so that you can just think outside the box. It helps us think outside the box. And then we move into a little bit more of a visual phase. We have like mood boards, we do calls, we kind of hear right from the person about their business, because sometimes people like to write it, sometimes they like to speak it. So a lot of times we just kind of have everything, we put everything together, and then we craft a very like strategic, streamlined, consistent brand identity. And that way, when they come to us for a brand session, for example, everything is laid out, ready to go. And we just kind of plug and play.
That's awesome. That segues perfectly into just the visual components of, you know, your identity, your brand, telling your story. So how do visuals like custom photography and video actually help tell your story?
Yeah. I think that part of even this world right now is like posting. So like, not that that's the end all, but a lot of sharing your story and connecting with your audience is going to be through some kind of online media. Not all the time, but even if you are in person with someone, having visuals to hold people's attention or to draw their attention to certain facts or facets about your brand or about what you're trying to educate them on is really helpful. So I think a lot of when people feel the like hesitancy to share their story or to build their brand in general is because they don't have visuals that accurately represent them. So, or they have photos that are outdated by 20 years and
or they have stock photos.
Or they have stock photos, yes. So anything, right. So we're against that here. But yes, I think that a lot of it is like they don't have authentic visuals to share. And so by us kind of taking a lot of intentional time in that discovery phase to make sure that what we create for them is helpful, they come away with like, it's all set to go. You just pick which one you want to share, and then you can kind of pair your message with it. And it makes it a lot more seamless.
Yeah. You work with women brands and women-owned businesses. You have for years, even before you came to Studio EightyEight. So you have a lot of experience with this. How does that process work? Do you like have, you know, a creative call or anything that really helps you verbally, you know, have that conversation and just make sure that you're gathering everything you need to kind of create like a beautiful experience for them.
Yeah. I think that we do a creative call, yes. And we kind of do like a welcome call first to like onboard, just to like, here's what's coming down the road. So it's not too overwhelming. We're not getting too deep into anything, but that's really helpful because they kind of it's like a trust factor. Like we want them to know us and trust us. And then further down the road, once we've kind of collected some homework items and we get a little bit deeper into what we're going to be creating, we will do a creative call, which is really focused on the visuals and making sure that the story we're delivering in the videos or the themes that we're trying to bring out or the props and the models, and like we have everything taken care of, and we just want to make sure aesthetically it works and also that it's useful and purposeful like once they're done with their session. So
what would you say to the ladies listening who are hesitant to do a photo video brand session because they feel awkward in front of the camera, and they're like, no, maybe they have more of their story dialed in, but they haven't invested in that experience because they just feel like they're not going to, it's not going to turn out how they want, or they're, they're going to be awkward. They're not going to be able to perform.
Right. Yeah.
Any pro tips?
As someone who's personally tried to pay off every photographer and videographer in our company to not get me in front of camera, I know that some people are just more comfortable behind the camera or are more comfortable with like one-on-one conversations and not being filmed, like things like that. So typically what I recommend, and this kind of goes back to that like welcome call, like being with people that you trust and who you trust to deliver something that is of the quality that you're looking for. So like trust in that you can deliver the quality product is part of it, but also trusting that they have your best interest in mind, that they really want you to shine, that they are like partnering with you. They're excited to be with you. Like having a group of people who is going to like do everything they can to get you what you need is so important. So I trust our team. And that's kind of why, like, anytime I'm talking to a client, I'm like, no, but really, we all love each other. Everyone loves working with each other. They bounce off each other creatively. Yeah. Like, it's such a collaborative experience, both with the client and like within our team, that I'm like so proud to talk about it. And I just tell everyone, like, you'll feel comfortable. We've got music playing, like on a practical level, like we've got music, we've got snacks, caffeine if you need it. We've got like a playlist tailored to your preference. Yeah. Like we do everything we can to just make sure it's as seamless as possible and you don't have to stress. So.
Absolutely. The details are covered. You show up. We don't let anyone carry their bags in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, no. We take care of chauffeuring,
get all their
around.
Stuff taken care of. Yes. Yeah.
The client models there, hair and makeup, like everything.
Recommend wardrobe and make sure that fits within, what they're looking for aesthetically. So it's all taken care of.
It's one of our, I would say, wow factors.
Yeah.
Wow experiences probably is a better way to say it. Yeah.
And I love it.
Fun facts. What are some of your favorite moments or brand experiences that we've had with some of our influencers that have come to visit us?
There's a lot that come to mind.
Yeah. We
have crushed disco balls with a heel. That was fun.
Ooh, that was fun.
And then I know we did a brand session where we had we were like tossing rose petals, very bachelorette feel. We've done a lot of things, and I love when our creative team has space to even think like, we definitely do a lot of planning. So I'm not, we definitely plan ahead of time. We've got shots that we're looking to get, but when they kind of get to bounce off each other and just think of things like on the fly too, that actually sometimes end up being some of our favorite things. So we've got lots of props. We've got colors. We kind of work different sets into it. We have some like really cool inspiration. And so we just kind of work through each thing throughout the day. It's very seamless, very stress-free, and it's fun, lighthearted, like very, yeah.
Our photographers and videographers are so complimentary in how the flow of the session goes. That's always amazing to me because it's really an art.
Yes. And it's not silent. Like everyone's kind of, they're talking.
Having a good time.
Yeah, everyone's having a good time. The photographer and videographer are talking to you, like interacting with each other. So it's not like a silent, you're kind of like deer in headlights, on set type thing. So
totally.
It's interactive.
Once someone has all of their content, right, that can feel pretty overwhelming in and of itself. What on earth do I do with all the content now on social media? Because as you mentioned, it's all for posting. So what are some good first steps?
Yeah, I would say that part of posting in general is having like the strategy ahead of time. And if you're going to look to build a personal brand, you can definitely work your personal life into it if you want to, but kind of goes back to like laying out some of those like content buckets or like umbrellas and themes of what you want your brand and education to be. So whatever is kind of fitting in those categories, you can lay it out for posting and just cycle through them. So if you're going to talk about something personal, great, use a photo or video or something from your personal life, and you can just kind of map out cycling through those things so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming. So that's kind of what I like to tell people is like, take all your content and just like break it up. You can break up, like you can do different types of grid styles if you're thinking about Instagram, or if you want to just kind of break up, like this is a really educational post. This is more inspirational. This is like an update. Like you can just kind of break up the types of content you're sharing, graphic, video, photo, so that it's not like back to back and it kind of
not
feels...
like 5 photo posts in a row. Yeah.
Especially if it's like all staring at the camera type shots. So we try to get a lot of like B-roll where you're kind of interacting with someone talking. Yeah, like lifestyle stuff. Props, like different details, stuff like that. So that it just kind of makes it feel diversified, but it's still consistent.
Yeah. Well, I learned recently, Justine loves CapCut. I don't know if you use that.
Oh, I have not used that.
Oh, holy cow. So it's great because you can just drop photos into real templates.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, oh, amazing. The audio's there.
Yeah.
The vibe is there.
Nice. Yeah.
So you can just search up your vibe or what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, I have like 5 photos. It will like give you all
and
the
just
templates.
makes it. Yeah.
So
that's nice.
Forget you, Instagram, and your templates that I loathe.
That's what I mean. I'm out of I don't even know. There's tons of apps I know that you can use, but they all have different vibes, like you're saying. Totally. So if you kind of find one that fits what you like, then that's great. Yeah.
And trial and error, right? Yeah. Like it's not the end of the world if you get into it and you're like, it's always constantly tweaking as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Ariel, any final words of encouragement for all the women that are either building their brands now or are in it and want refresh content? Any words of encouragement for them? Because it can feel like a grind sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
And then once you kind of build your brand, you're like, oh, I actually have to keep up with this.
Yes. Yeah. I would say the first thing that I kind of tell people on a practical level is to keep it manageable. So if you don't want to be posting every single day, don't start out posting every single day. Like you can post once a week, and if you're doing it every week, that's still consistent. So your audience will kind of learn how to hear from you and how they're going to hear from you. So they will get used to like how you're posting, how often you're posting. If it's stories, if it's posts, if it's like reels, video content, they will kind of get used to the cadence.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't want to be posting every day, don't. Because then you kind of like fly through everything and you're burned out. So the goal is to kind of keep it as a long-term strategy. Because that also just builds trust with your audience. Like they know that you're consistent and they know that you'll show up. And kind of on a more, like emotional level when you're building your brand, I just remember in college, I had read a book and it was in one of these English classes that I was like, oh, I kind of like this. But I was reading a book and the tone of it was so much my stream of consciousness. Like I just remember reading it and being like, I didn't know you were allowed to write like that. Like I thought that it had to be very professional and very polished. And it was just much more conversational. It was quirky, like lighthearted. And it just felt like how I think. And I remember just being like, I didn't know that was allowed, first of all. Yeah. And second of all, like I want to find my voice that way and I want to help other people do the same. So I think part of it is like, just because you don't sound like someone else that you're trying, that you really love, doesn't mean that you shouldn't kind of make it your own. Like I would just say like, make it your own and find your voice and share it in the way that feels authentic to you because someone needs it. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and you can get inspiration all over the place. Yeah. Look at what other brands and other, let's say, consultants, speakers, authors, all the people you're following, influencers, thought leaders, what are they doing that's working for them? And just kind of, I don't know, just grab stuff, grab ideas. Right. You're not stealing.
Yeah. Yeah. Taking inspiration from like multiple places, but then making it your own rather than just like duplicating something that someone else is doing. But making it your own and like putting your own voice, spin, thoughts on it is perfect. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I so enjoyed this conversation. Yeah, it's so good to hang out with you. So where can people follow you and connect with your work?
Yeah. And on Instagram, it's Ariel in View is my personal. And then, everything else is kind of connected from there. So
awesome.
That's
amazing.
Yeah. And Studio EightyEight, obviously.
Yes. Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you.
I think you're just an extraordinary woman who is helping other women, which is really what this podcast is all about. And so I love that.
Yeah,
and I thank you for all the work that you do with so many of our incredible brand clients.
Yeah.
And
they are.
They are. They're awesome. So, well, I know that everybody is going to walk away with something they needed to hear today. I have no doubt. And thank you just for tuning into the Story Project podcast. And let's be fearless together this week, ladies. See you next time.
Do I do this? What are we doing?